Hey, what's going on, engineers? Ben Adkins here, and I'm alongside, as always, my good friend and business partner, Zach Anderson. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. It's raining out finally here in Washington, so I'm back to that weather. It's just a bunch of gray, but it is what it is.
It,
I'm excited for this weather because sometimes it's fine to have a little bit of the season change.
there you go. There you go. It's a beautiful thing. We're getting some gloom today, but I was excited to actually get in and talk about what we're looking at, what we've got on the screen today, which is if you are someone that follows what we do a lot of digital marketing, both for ourselves and our businesses, but also for businesses of small businesses, people that work exclusively on the internet. Zach and I typically focus on how do we build the tools that we need to do our business, but also tools that other people can, easily set up things. What you're looking at on your screen right now is a website. And I want to tell you guys a story about the website and kind of how this kind of flew into Zach and my world, and what we were able to build with a couple of applications that we've been working on for quite some time and how quickly we were able to build this. So the website that is on your screen is for a book. Zach, this one kind of goes way back. It was like 2018, 2019 that I did this audiobook. And the idea behind this audiobook for my digital business, this was what we were calling an indoctrination piece. This was something that I started to realize that a lot of people that followed me in my business, I had a lot of return customers, They'd come in, they'd buy from me, they'd get on the webinar, we would teach them something, they'd go make money with it, they would grow their business. But that was it. It gets kind of stale if it's the same people in your world and you're not bringing any new ones in. And so we were like, what do we have out there that is like teaching people what we're teaching inside of here and getting them sort of in our world if they're not already our customer? And, so it came up audiobook. Like, what do I do when I'm at the gym, when I'm, out driving to something, like I'm listening to audiobooks a lot. And so we're like, let's put together an audiobook that really gives people a sense of, how we grew our business. And so this thing called Microservice Millionaire came about, and we put the book out there, flood of new customers in, just because it was like all of a sudden people could consume what I was doing and how we were growing our business without being a customer. They got this for free, and it worked really well. And so fast forward a couple years, man, and this book, I've learned a lot. This book, it's time for an update. It's been super successful. People have been successful with it, but I know a lot more now than I did then. And so I need to redo the whole book, the whole process. And, I was looking at kind of what we were doing before, and it was not the most, it wasn't the prettiest. It wasn't the most advanced site that we had the book on. And so you and I have been working really hard on a couple of key tools that make it really easy for people to get their message out, for them to look like super professionals. One of those being something called NetEngine, which is what you're seeing on your screen right now. It built this website in I think this website took me about 20 minutes tops to put together. And this is a template, by the way, if you're a NetEngine subscriber already, this is a template that is live for you guys today. So that you have this, you can go take this template, you can kind of rock what we've got here. But the other cool part about this is if you were to actually click this button here on the page, it takes you to a page that is an opt-in page. And so somebody can put in their phone number and their name, and then it sends this directly to their phone. So they'll get a text message with the link to the audiobook directly on their phone. Now, this side, where we actually collect the information, is powered by another application called Customer Engine that we put together. And so the two of these together, doing a lot of heavy lifting. It's kind of giving the story of what this actual book is. It looks good, so it looks super professional. You got to get an idea of what's inside. You get an idea of who the author is. The idea is Zach and I were very big on minimalistic marketing, not overpowering, not trying to do too much. And that's what this site does. And so we're going to get into today how this all works, what we did to build this, how it's available to you if you are a subscriber to NetEngine, Customer Engine, but also if you're not, how you can go build something like this real easily. And so, Zach, I just want to get your thoughts on this, because normally we are very focused on kind of the bread and butter of what we do to help businesses. So if you're a small business, like you have a dentist office, a chiropractic office, maybe a restaurant, normally NetEngine is what you go to build your sites fast. And so we're normally very brick and mortar. This is more of, hey, I'm trying to like reach people from all over the world with my business. So it's a little departure. Did you, when you were building all this stuff, did you think that we could do this out of the gate without much, like, it's amazing to me what we've been able to do with the app. What do you think kind of where we're at with this?
Well, that's the funny part about it is, we had this idea a long time ago, obviously, and started building it. And we kind of, the beginning part was, hey, let's just build this core for, the chiropractor, the dentist, the HVAC, the plumber. And I think we got a little ways into it and we're like, hey, well, let's tweak this a little bit so that me and you can have more control over it. And instead of the developers having to do this stuff all the time. And that was a big shift for both you and I. And we didn't realize it until we got actually done with it, that once we got done with it, we're like, wait a minute, we can build stuff for anything and do it in a very, very rapid fashion. And so I think that opened our eyes to like the expanse of, what potential opportunities are out there for a lot of people that struggle with exactly with what you and I struggle with. Like, we love coming up with ideas, we have a million of them before breakfast kind of deal. And it's always hard because I know speed implementation is like the thing that you have to have in any kind of like a SaaS business or thing like that. The faster you can get to market, the faster you can do anything, the better it's going to be at overall for your employees, your staff, for absolutely everything. And I don't think we realized what we built until we built it and started playing with it and being like, oh my gosh, I can replace so many things in my business right now because of what we just built. And then our eyes opened up and we're like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. So, the fact that we started at one place and we're able to not pivot, but open up to such a larger audience within like 30 days is mind blowing. And now I'm really excited about what the future holds for us because there's so much more stuff that you can do, but from a very, very simplistic standpoint. Like, I could give this to my 14-year-old daughter and she could do it. And that's kind of like, what's the lowest common denominator? Not that you're saying she is, but I'm just saying I'm typically that individual. It's like, if I can figure it out, if I can do this, that means that, we've done a good job because it takes such little time and effort to put something together like you did. Like, when you showed me this the other day, I was like, that's amazing. I'm like, how long did it take you to build? And you're like, I don't know, 10, 20 minutes max. I'm like, well, that's good. I guess we've accomplished something.
So, right? And I think you made a good point. It's like, no, obviously you have an extremely intelligent daughter. I know her, and like, so she's great. But like, I think the point is like, people, no matter what you're doing, whether you have experience with doing stuff on the web or not, or this is like your main focus, or you've got other things that you're focused on, and most of us do, can you get in and build something fast? And so I think that's what I want to do is, for everybody watching, like, Zach comes to everything to kind of like, how do I build something where anybody can come in and they understand how it works and they can build something that looks great and works great for their business. And Zach very much focuses on the software side. I very much focus on the like copywriting and marketing side. And not that we both don't do a little bit of both, but that's kind of how we come together. And so what I want to show you guys with this template that we just released today, and like everybody can go use now if you're a NetEngine subscriber, is how it kind of all comes together. What are the pieces of this puzzle? How did I build this from complete scratch? And what was I using to do this quickly? And so I want to walk you kind of through how this works and how everything comes together, and show you pretty much what this is. So the first thing I want to do is it has a certain look and feel to it. This obviously fits the brand of the book that we were doing. Now, the cool part is no matter what your brand is, you maybe don't have like a black and yellow brand and you're like, well, that doesn't really work for me. But you want to go maybe something that's a little bit lighter, and that's extremely easy. So let's say that you take this template, and we're going to give you this exact template so you can start with this. Let's say you have this exact template. So you could go in right now, and as soon as you picked the digital author, the author template, you're going to see something that looks like this. And all I'm doing is I'm telling search engines, I'm telling Facebook, I'm telling anywhere that this might get shared, what you need to display when you've got this. So we've got this, and like I said, I'd click next. From here, we get into a very sort of interesting scenario where you can kind of go in and you can do some stuff with what we call our quick skins. And our quick skins, I can go in and let's say I wanted to kind of change this color. So maybe I wanted to go to, more of a white color here. And so I wanted to do that, but, and then I wanted to change the text up here to this. And so it starts changing things throughout the site so that we get sort of a different look and feel throughout the site. And so really, really quickly, you can modify every piece of this puzzle. Now, if I'm jumping back into the actual live site right now, here's the thought from a copywriting perspective. When somebody lands on your book site, like something you're giving away, or maybe you're just giving away a chapter. So like maybe you don't want to give away the whole audiobook. For me, that's very functional for my business. But maybe you have a book that you want to sell. Maybe you want to give away like just a piece of it. That works no matter how you do it. But this is the idea. We have a headline at the top, have a kind of a video background that's super eye-catching. But then we have a headline at the top that pretty much tells you what the core of the book is. This one is how to build a 7-figure income from your laptop. And that's the whole book is about how you do that by helping small businesses. So we kind of get into that. And you can see here the full roadmap of how you can build $1 million per year business by helping small businesses grow using the internet. So that's what the book's about. The top of our site, what we call the above the fold section, is all about getting that message. Now, if that message is something that interests you, where are you going next? Like, what's the next thing you should be thinking about? When you're like, okay, well, that's cool, but it's kind of generic. What are we really talking about here? And so we get into this, what is microservice millionaire? So we've got a nice little picture of somebody holding a phone up with the cover of the book. And then we kind of have a quick walkthrough of what this is. Now, with this, just to give you behind the scenes, I know a lot of people that are trying to build their digital business. Maybe they're an agency owner, whatever. I know that scalability is a problem. So right in this section, I address that problem. For many people, the more successful their business becomes, the harder it gets to continue to deliver a quality product. And so that's what we open up with. That's the copy. I know that that's a problem for a lot of the audience that this book is great for. They've tried something else on their own. And while they may have had some success, they also realized that their time got eaten up really quickly. So this whole book is about how you build that kind of business that operates from a laptop, but that actually scales to something. So in this first section here, we've got an image of the book. We've got a little about the book section that says, this is what we're actually knocking down. So it takes this first headline and it just sort of expands the story a little bit. Okay. Now from there, what's actually inside? So we go through sort of the key sections. Now, Zach, I cheated a little bit on this, and I can just give you some of the insight because this is a book that came out a few years back. And because it was audio, I was able to track which chapters were the most popular. So like,
nice.
It's great. Like I can go through, it was like an 8-9 chapter book. And I was literally looking at the listen counts, and it was like 3 chapters that everybody, like the majority of people jumped towards. And so this section here, I took those 3 chapters and it was like, okay, well, what services are we providing? And how do you do that? So that was an extremely popular chapter. So I put it here. How do we get customers once we know how to do the services? That was another popular chapter. And then, okay, well, like now that I know how to do those 2 things, what are the steps to turn those 2 things into like something that is, 7 figures a year? And so like when I'm like doing this, I'm like, okay, what are the 3 most important chapters in my book that I think the most people are going to, they're going to get the most out of? It's like where I stuck all the like magic and the insider stuff. This is where this section would come into play. And so you don't want to give too much away of what's inside your book that you're about to give them. You want to give them something that gets them interested enough to give you their phone number, to give you their email address so that they'll actually download it. So that's this next part. After that, they're like, okay, well, that sounds pretty good, but like, is this person that's behind the book, do they actually know what they're doing? Or is this just some rando putting this together? And so you have to have a little bit of a biography of who the author is. And so we get into me, we get into my story here. If whoever your author is, if it's you, if it's somebody you're working with, this is where you would really sort of give the background behind why this person is able to speak to what they're speaking to. And so the idea here is there's a few things that when you see a book that you possibly want to invest time in, and Zach, I know you, like me and you are very busy. And so when we decide to like invest our time in a book, even if it's an audio book that we're listening to while it's something else, it's like we go through a process in our head of like, is this going to give us a return on investment of the time that we put into it? And so what we're really doing here is we're going down the list, and very quickly, this is a very short page. There's not a lot of information on it, but we're checking those boxes in someone's brain when they're deciding, am I going to listen to this book? Am I going to read this book? And we're getting all the elements that need to be hit to make sure it's there. Now, something that we also put on this, because it's just good practice, a lot of times before someone downloads this, they may have a question, or they may listen to it and they may want to come back to me and be like, that's great. Where do I get more info? And every so often, they don't pay attention to the emails and the follow-up messages that are getting sent to them, and they'll come back to the site. So we have a place to contact there, so they can hit us up. Now, Zach, any comments on that? I know that's the front of the site. I'm going to show everybody in a second, like how we did the pictures and all those things, how we're doing the download page. But anything so far that I missed?
Well, I just think it's interesting because, I am like you said, I get overwhelmed with information. So I love new things. I love learning new things. I try to learn at least one new thing a day, all of that type of stuff. And so one of the things that I've always found when you go to, places that you're wanting to try and gather information, when I get to a website that overwhelms me, my ADHD kicks in and I just want to leave. So I found it interesting that those 3 sections, that's actually especially what this book is aimed towards, right? If you're looking at somebody that may have a business or is just starting out, or even, getting to that point, you're hitting on all pieces. What is the service, right? Because that's important. What are you actually doing? I know me and you are really big believers in microservices and software that automates a lot of the stuff. So what's the tool? Then how do you use that tool to get customers? And then once you get customers, the holy grail, which everyone struggles with, is how do you scale? And I think, hitting on those instead of having your 9 chapters listed out, because I may look at your 9 chapters and be like, I don't care about that. Don't want to learn about that. Don't want to do that. So the fact that you have those insights, it doesn't surprise me that that's actually what they were, because you talk to anybody on the planet, I don't care if they're doing $1,000 a month or 10 million a month, they still have the same problems. Okay, if I'm doing 10 million a month, what services do I actually use, and then how do I find new customers beyond that? And then how do I scale it even to that next level? Everyone has the same problems no matter what level they're at. It doesn't matter where you are. Facebook, you go look at them, how many things have they tried that failed? Or, Google's a really good one of that too. And so, I just like the simplicity because it plays on so many different personality types that it gives the proper amount of information. And I think that's the core of what you put together here, and how you go about doing that is you're literally checking off the boxes. And if you ask me, there's really only 3 boxes. It's what is it? Why is it? What is it? Okay, 4 boxes. What does it do? And then who are they behind it? So 4 boxes, I think, is really the ability to make a decision quick.
Yeah. And so what I want to show everybody now is you kind of got an insight as to the copy. Like I said, we got the headline at the top that captures attention. Then they gets them enough interested to read a little further. We expand on that world just enough that they're like, yes, I do want this book. I do want to dig into it. So we've got all those pieces of the puzzle. Now let's talk about how we actually pull this off from a technical standpoint. So, once you actually have this site built, and as I said, if you are a NetEngine customer or you sign up to be a NetEngine customer and you're using the tool, you'll have this template. But how do we pull off some of the stuff that we're doing? Now, this is a button, right? So this is a button. And what this button is, this button leads to an opt-in form. And the opt-in form is how we capture information and how we deliver information back to them. Now, when we're getting their phone number in this one, and the reason I wanted to get their phone number in this one and not an email address is specifically because most of the people that are going to be listening to an audio book are going to be listening to it on their phone. And so we wanted to capture a phone number. That way I could just text them. And I know I've almost got about 100% open rate with the text message. And I know that they're going to get that audiobook and be able to do something with it. So how do we actually build this? Because if you click on this, it's going to actually open up this opt-in form that I showed you guys before. So they put in their information. Now, obviously, when we get their information, we're going to have a drip-fed marketing down the road that is going to upsell a course. It's going to upsell software. It's going to do all kinds of things that are going to help them with the things that they are learning in the book. But it also allows us to make money while we're helping them. And so this is a sort of a drip feed that we've got. But how does that actually come together? And I want to kind of give you a behind the scenes. And by the way, everybody's watching this get built. As I said, we've had this out before. It was a different funnel. It didn't work as good as this. We're about to restructure this book. So you guys are getting this as it's being built. And hopefully everybody understands that. Now, the idea here is they opted here, but this is built in something called Customer Engine. This is a SMS marketing platform. That's the best way I can put it is it's just a little more intelligent than most text marketing platforms out there. Now, what we did here is we would go in, you could do new campaign in our campaign section, and it's going to open up a screen that looks kind of like this. And so I'm going to title this. As what so I can identify it later. I'm going to have a keyword, and this book is called MSM, Microservice Millionaire. So we created a keyword called MSM, and I'll show you why that keyword is important in just a couple minutes. And then we're going to go to this next section. In this next section, this is something that Zach built that I think is absolutely genius. We're able to go in and very, very quickly style this page the way we want it to. So you can make this thing full screen. You could, all kinds of stuff. You could change the background color. You can change the background image. With the background image, this is super easy. I go in and I'm like, you know what? This is very technical. This is like a laptop sort of situation. So I go in and type laptop, and I pretty much, without having to upload anything myself, I have images in here that I can jump in and be like, okay, bam, that's a new background that we want to have for this thing. I upload my logo. And by the way, stay tuned. I'll show you how all this logo stuff got created. It was super simple. If you think it looks halfway decent, awesome, but you'll laugh how easy it actually was to create this stuff before I put it in here. So we go in, we've got our logo, we upload our logo here. We change our headlines. So send the Microservice Millionaire audiobook directly to your phone for free. And we can go in and edit this. We can edit all the colors. Super, super simple the way that this gets done. But when it's done, we save this. We save it. So I'm going to update this. And then we're going to actually go to what we call an automation. Now, this automation is very interesting in how it works. Now, you'll notice at the top of this, it says keywords. Now, what happens is when the system sees that this keyword comes in, it's going to trigger, hey, do these things after, right? So when someone opts in, it triggers this keyword and it says, okay, even if their number happens to already be in our system, this is a new thing. So we're going to send this. So the first thing is I send out a notification. If I click in this, you can see this notification says, hey, first name. Remember, they gave us our first name on the form so we can actually address them directly. So, hey, first name, Ben Adkins here, and congrats. You can listen to the Microservice Millionaire audiobook here. And then I got a little link that leads to the page with all the audio in the chapter so they can go there. Nothing fancy. I don't try to overdo it here. I'm trying to get everything done. So it's like, hey, I promised them this and we're there. I'm not trying to sell them on anything else. Remember, the website that they went to already sold them that they want this. That's why they're here. All they want now is their link. So we directly put the link in there. Now, for you marketers out there and for you business owners, you're probably like me and Zach. We like to know right away if this stuff's working. Like, I can always jump in the system. Like when I get home, I can always look and, and see, but like right away, when I put this out into the world, I want to know if it's working. So what I do, I have this alerts. And what this does is every time that someone opts in, and I'm going to have to turn this off, Zach, after this runs for a while, because it'll get annoying because too many people will be coming through. But when I first do it, I want to make sure that it's working. So it says MSM lead. So I know this lead is that kind of lead. It's for the book. And it says first name at phone number, just downloaded the MSM audiobook. So I get a text on my phone saying this particular person just downloaded it. And if I wanted to send them a text message or call them, let's say like you're a real estate agent or you're a chiropractor and you're getting leads that way, this gives you the ability to instantly interact back with that lead. So I've got that. I get that message. We've got that from there. Now, here's where things get real interesting. If I were to, maybe have a software that was mentioned in the book that I wanted to maybe put in front of them and maybe give them a trial that they could try it out for 7 days. I'm giving a little too much away, Zach. But
no, it's good. Do it. Go for it.
But if I were to do that, what I could do is I could click this plus button. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say wait, right? I'm going to say wait. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for about a day. So from the time that they sign up, I'm going to wait for about a day. And so the system, after it delivers these first few messages, both to them and to me, it's going to wait for a day. And after a day, what it's going to do is it's going to send out another notification, which I wrote up. So I'm going to say, hey, first name, I hope you're enjoying the Microservice Millionaire book. Inside, I mentioned a few software programs I use. I thought you might want to see them in action. Check them out at this page. And then I would have a link that goes here, right? So now they can go to a page. Maybe I'm doing a webinar, maybe it's an old video recording, whatever it may be, but I'm able to take them to that page and actually show them something that I wasn't able to do in the book. But now that I know that they're sort of interested in these things, we start to get an idea of what we can do. Now, maybe like a day out is too close, right? Maybe I want to give them a few days to do this. So I would set this to 3 days. And so now that notification is coming out. After I do that, I could start getting more individualized. I could like, hey, we talk about this particular software in there, and I can string this out over the next month to really start lining that out and really start getting it in place. And so what we're able to do with this very simple setup here is we're able to deliver right to their phone, but we're also able to market to them in a not, we're not going to overwhelm them with text messages, but we're able to market to them in a very chill way moving forward. And that's how, NetEngine and Customer Engine, we're using these in concert together to do some really amazing things. So Zach, any comments on this so far? Because like this is all the things we built, man, that are like coming together in such a fun way.
Well, I think you I don't mean to give too much away, but if we're giving anything away at this point, I think the one thing that you didn't touch on is what the real core of this is, because I truly believe conversions happen through conversations. And so one of the things that people don't realize is you could add in that string to that notification, just saying, hey, just wanted to check to see if you had a chance to check out the book. My favorite chapter is chapter 3 about how to generate customers. Let me know your feedback. You can text back to here, because what the platform also does, it has two-way text messaging in it. So you're combining automation with conversation. So, and it doesn't stop the actual automation. So you can literally engage with this lead prospect inside of an automation and actually have a conversation with them back and forth. And that will show up over in the messaging tab that you can this person actually responded to this message. And then it creates a conversation at the same time the automation is going through. So there's a lot that is simple, but complicated. And the other thing that I don't think, the most important thing I think that a lot of people don't realize is I don't even know if there's actually a platform out there that does opt-in that's only text messaging.
Right.
Like most platforms, I've tried this, they require an email. And I haven't seen any lower conversions by only asking for a phone versus an email. They're literally the same, if not higher. And so I think it's just, again, it's going to create intrigue. Like, whoa, I only put my phone number in there. I mean, so there's so many little pieces to this puzzle that you can do and do it on the fly and so fast. It's crazy. I mean, how many people do you ever get respond to emails? Very, very, very few. Even if you're begging and asking them and you're sending it out to 50,000 people, you could have, 30 text message subscribers and you can get 10 replies. It's just such a different medium and just a different way of approaching things that, combining NetEngine with Customer Engine and including a human touch through conversation, it's like a game changer.
Well, I think that that's a big part of it. And, I changed up this first response. I may have tucked it back 3 or 4, but I think you're right. It probably should go even sooner in kind of that 3-day range. And the idea is, so I'm going to save this and put it in here because, I want to make sure that stays. But the idea is now, if I were to go over to this message tab, I can see everybody that's responded. I can even get alerts when people have actually responded. And what we find is I could get people to opt into a text message 5 years ago. It wasn't hard. But today it's a completely different ballgame of what that conversion rate looks like. And the other side is this, and I love this that you mentioned it. It's people will actually text you back and ask their questions. And when you actually hit them back personally, That's conversions. And I can't tell you how many times with the free thing, when someone would email me in the past few years about this book and I actually responded, and I'd have to go dig through my email to make sure I didn't miss anything. And it's such a clunkier channel. But when they would ask me something and I would respond to them, that usually led to a higher ticket sale. Whether it was coaching, whether it was, them buying a course from us that was a little more like in depth than what we covered in the book, it always led to that. But it was always kind of a delayed response. With this, when someone hits us up and we hit them back, and you can hit them back right in the platform by using the messages tab, and it looks like it's coming from a phone. When you do that, you open up a lot of things that are really, really big in terms of instant conversions. And so it's a huge, huge part about if you're using Customer Engine in concert with this to do any sort of book stuff, especially if you've got a higher ticket coaching program, you've got a course that's maybe your mid ticket that's in between there. This is going to be one of the ways that you can close. And even if it's not you doing it, someone on your team can do it, and you'll get a lot of big results from that. So, excellent tip there. I should cover the images. Like you told me before we call, Zach, you told me not to hold back anything. And I appreciate that, because I was going to hold back some stuff. And Zach's like, nah, let's do it. Let's do the whole thing. And I love that. So these images, super simple. And I'll just kind of go through. The first thing is the logo. All this is, and I'm just in Canva, by the way. If anybody that doesn't use Canva, great tool. And I just do image design in this. And all this is really simply this. And just so I don't mess it up, I'll duplicate this. But just so you guys can see this, it's just text on top of blocks. There's nothing overly difficult about it. And it's all I'm really doing is like, just to kind of give you guys a sample, is I would go over here to the side and I'd grab some text here, right? So test, we'll just do some test here, and I'm going to drag this so it's a little smaller. And well, it was actually off the page, so it's going to do that to me, but give me a sec. So test. Let me see if I can get this right and it doesn't kill it for me. There we go. So we've got that, and I'm gonna make that text right there. And so what I'm gonna do from here is, I'm just gonna do a block. So I'm gonna go to Elements. I'm gonna do a block, and I'm just gonna kind of drag that block back behind it and size it to be about right there. And from there, I'm probably just going to change this to like white or whatever color that you're, if you wanted to build a logo like this, like some of you have logo designers and you're paying big bucks for it, use that logo, please. But if you're just trying to kind of put something together fast, this would be the way that you might do it. So for me, like I said, this is 100% how I built this logo, which is not professional by any means, but it gets the job done. And so I put the stuff in there, and then I just would, kind of stack. I would stack Microservice Millionaire. That's how this logo kind of came about. By the way, anybody that's watching this that happens to be a Net Engine or a Customer Engine subscriber, I'll make sure you guys get these templates so that you guys have access to this. You can just steal what I've already done and revamp it. Now that's the logo. Now, if you go back to this site, that's 100% what's at the top of this screen and on all these images, right? So that logo is sort of the base layer of what we build everything else off of. The color scheme, everything was sampled from what that logo had. Okay, so from there, what do we do with that? Well, I had a picture of me that I took in front of, I didn't have quite as much facial hair at that point. And I was in front of like just a background, but super simple photo. I had a ring light, Zach, that I had the phone. I set the timer on the phone. I stood and posed. Now this was the hardest part of the whole thing, probably. If you have this mug, you have to pose about 50 times to get one photo. And so I still look a little uncomfortable, but it was the best one. And then we put the logo on top of it. So nothing fancy there. We put the logo on top of it. Just to give you guys a little insight into this, I did this sort of tall version of this thing because I knew that I was going to turn this into something that like looked like it was on a phone that someone was holding. So if you go back to the site, I had a sense that we were going to have somebody holding the phone because we were going to send this to their phone, holding the phone, and my mug and the logo was going to be on there. Okay, so we did that. Now, how do we pull that off? Now, once you actually put that stuff together, and this is just simply a photo uploaded, you can see the much bigger photo there that's kind of been shaped into just what it needs to be. I also, when I was doing this, I made this black and white. So in Canva, I took out I did the saturation. So there's the color. We take out all the saturation. So now you've got this nice, going to fit on a phone. And then I use something called Place It. Place It is how you do mock-ups really fast. You can do books. You can do all kinds of stuff. But Place It used to be something else, but it got bought up by Envato, which is just a huge marketing company that does graphics and stuff. But this is the free template, by the way. This is not like you don't have to pay for any of this. But what I did was I went in and I picked this one right here, which is this free template. And once you pick this, it allows you to upload your photo to this. So all I have to do is insert image, and it's going to throw that image right into there. Okay, so that got me that. Now there's one more layer to this, because you'll notice on the side of all the images, I've got this little logo stuck there, and that's just a little design trick to kind of really beat your branding into people's heads without it seeming like it. So I got this logo on the side here. So after I downloaded this image from here, now this is the hardest part. Obviously, our software is not this hard, Zach, but like just design, right? I took this photo, we put it into Place It to get this. And then I went ahead and I put it into a box that was kind of a nice square. So this is like an image that is your standard Instagram size photo. So for those of you that were doing this without being a subscriber of ours, anyway, you go into Canva, you pull up like an Instagram size post. This is what you're doing. And I just put this in here. And then I just took the logo that I'd already done and I just put it over the top. Nothing fancy. And then that's the image that you actually see on the site. So from there, what about the images that we got here? I literally, Zach, I just took a presentation style format. I put in an image. I darkened the image a little bit, but I was looking for dark images anyway. I would darken the image a little bit with the edit image tab here. I think let me see what I actually did. I probably took some of the vibrance up. I did a vignette, like however you want to say that. This is where my Southern comes out. But the idea is when I do this, Zach, I'm kind of hugging the image with darkness. And so I knew that this image was going to sit on top of straight white or straight black. So I wanted the image to almost have a circle of kind of darkness fading over the sides of it to really kind of bring your attention to the center of the image. And then to kind of hide that, I just stuck the logo again to the side. So we got that. So we export all these images. And by the way, here's image 1, image 2, image 3, and then image 4, which is going to be my picture that goes down in the bio down here. We export those. That's how we got this. And that's how we got this. And that's the ballgame. And that's the site. And anybody, like I said, that is a NetEngine subscriber, if you're a customer engine subscriber, you just ask, and I'll make sure if you can't find these next to, the templates that we've got in the site. Because honestly, I got to show you guys this real quick, just so you can see kind of how this works. If I were to click new website inside a customer engine, if you go all the way down to the bottom, it's the newest template. It may not be there if you're coming in later on, but the newest template that says book author, you select this template, that template's ready to go for you. Like that's the thing. I'm showing you guys the Canvas stuff where you got to do a little editing. But like this actual template is a button push away and you're pretty good to go. And that's it. That's how we got this. Between this, which is NetEngine, and Customer Engine that actually delivers the book, you have a pretty tight marketing funnel that you can implement. You can get out the door in a couple of hours. You can start testing. And like I said, from there, you can kind of tweak your messaging in the back end so that you get what you want. I went on a tangent there, man. I want your thoughts.
No, I think you missed one aspect of it. And, I like to look at things like, so for example, there's everyone sees this site, everyone sees a video that's playing, all that. But what they don't realize about that video, which I don't know of another platform that does this. And then you have to show them what you can do for branding and colors with our video overlay. That is like so next level that it can really change everything.
It's subtle, but it's so powerful what we did here. And so with this, if you go into the actual editor for this site and you go into the banner section, now you can upload, like I said, we've got ways that if this was just an image, you could bring in an image this way. So if I turn off the video here, you can see there would be an image. It's great, but it's not as impactful as the video. So we turn the video on, and I've just got a video that I've linked, and I'm linking from a Vimeo video here. And what we've got here is normally you'll see kind of this ball game, which whatever video you upload would look like this. And it's cool, but a lot of times what happens, Zach, that I find when someone does this, you lose the headline. Like the headline sort of blends in. And so you're like, oh crap, do I have to go edit the video and upload it somewhere else so that it's darker? Like you got to do all these edits in the background with this platform. And this was like just such a genius thing that you and the team put in here. What I'm able to do is like I could go here right now and I could say, okay, I want something dark, but now I want to turn this kind of here so that the text pops off the page. So you get the video, you got this. But the real, like you said, the real thing about this is the branding color feature. And so I took kind of this exact color, and I didn't find it yet, but this is the actual exact color that fits. It goes with our logo. And you can see I can kind of adjust, like I could go all the way there, which is you can't see through it at all to see the video. Or I could start turning it down to where you can sort of see what's going on with this video, and you get the color branding. And so what happens is, because we're so color coordinated and on point, somebody lands on this site and they get the feeling that everything was very intentional. Everything was extremely organized and put together because every element seems to play off the next element. And we built this into the editor so that it was easy to do. But when you start matching sort of this overlay over the video with the logo, you get a sense that you are different. And this is where Zach and I get real nerdy about design. We want to be nerdy about design so that other people don't have to. And so we built these features into these templates. Yes, we'll give you the template, but how do you make it yours, right? Like if my logo had some blue in it, let's say, what I'd want to do is I want to match that blue so that we had something that looks like this. And that would like lock in. It would still overlay. You'd still get the impact of the video like hitting you right in the face, but it would match everything. And so when they get here, you give people a sense that you are organized, you are put together, and that what they're probably getting on the other side of the opt-in and everything that you do after has that same sense. For every small business we work with, a lot of what we work with down, like just when I'm actually doing the design directly with people, is we're just working on making sure that their first impression that they give people is one that knocks them on their butts. And you're right, man. Like we didn't mention it, but this little video element and the things that we're doing and how it plays with the other parts of the page are absolutely huge. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah. And I mean, and the other thing is that, people don't realize is video backgrounds are a pain in the butt. So one of the things that we've built into NetEngine is a video background library. I think there's like 30 videos in there that you can choose from. So, even when we first built this, I remember I was like, I've got to go find the video. I've got to go upload the video. I've got to drop the link. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make a video library in the platform. And so now you don't even have to do any of that. It's all royalty free. Just pick which one you want to do. People running in the field, someone talking to a dentist, whatever it may be. It's in there that fits pretty much any niche that you could possibly want. That, again, it's all speed sells, and that was kind of the main focus around these two platforms. I mean, you built that opt-in page in probably under 5 minutes, and the sequence, you could definitely build that in under 5 minutes. And that's what I love about text messaging. The one thing that I do is I'll sit down, and when I'm writing copy for an email, right? Like I was actually doing this earlier today. I have to get in front of my computer. I usually turn all the other stuff off, and I have to sit there and focus because I have to make sure that, the copy makes it through the inbox into Gmail. So I got to do all these tweaky things, all this type of stuff. Can't be too long, can't be too short. Text, I limit myself to like 200 characters, and I mean, it's just literally that simple. So you can write these follow-up sequences so much faster because you're not writing diatribes, and no one wants to read a diatribe on a text message. So the combination of the two is like a whole nother level that I don't even really see it out there in the marketplace yet. I haven't seen this adoption in this fashion.
Yeah, it's a shift because right now with everything that's sort of happened in the world the last little bit, everybody's trying to get down to, at least with what they're trying to consume, simplicity. We don't have time for these things. And so shifting your marketing to these things is absolutely huge. And so that's it. We wanted to show you guys this. We didn't want to go overboard, but we wanted to make sure we gave you every piece of the puzzle. If you want to sign up for either NetEngine, Customer Engine, we've got links below where you guys can take trials and get in and check things out, get started, start building things right away, see how fast it is. Also, I highly recommend this. If you have any questions or you're like, does this fit my business? Is this something that I can actually use for this particular project that I'm trying to do? Book a demo. We've also got links below to book demos with our team, and our team can kind of walk you through, answer any questions you have. And like I said, our whole goal is, can you get something out there that's actually getting you results rather than planning and trying to put things in for months and months and months. So many people completely lose their momentum and the business dies or the business takes a hit because building this kind of stuff takes so long in the past. And so the goal here is, what's something that with inside of an hour you can build that looks absolutely amazing. It's great and it does the job and it's going to look better than 99% of everything out there, but you didn't have to put in the work that you would normally have to do it. So like, if you're sitting there right now watching Zach and I, and you're watching this and you're saying, I have this thing that I know will do well. I have a business idea. I have a book that I've had kind of in my back pocket that I've not used. And you're sitting there and you're like, I need to get it out there and I need to put it in front of people. I just need to run a Facebook ad. I need to put it in front of a Facebook group that I already have. This is where you need to sign up. This is where you need to book a demo, and we'll be glad to help you. Like I said, would be glad to help you kind of get there if you do need any help with anything. But within an hour with both Customer Engine and Net Engine, you can have this exact funnel set up, and you can be bringing in new leads for your business that you convert with sales exactly how we walked you through. And so feel free to hit those buttons below, sign up. If you want to book a demo beforehand, our team's standing by. They'd love to help you out. We just wanted to get on and show you. We're really proud of kind of what this was able to do. I love that when, that when I need something in one of my other businesses, I come to what we've got here and I can build it so fast. And that's really the name of the game. If I can get something out the door fast, we're going to make money with it, or we're going to know really quickly that we can't make money with it. And I think that's the name of the game. So I'll let you close this down, man. Any closing?
No, I think I fail fast. I mean, honestly, that is one of the key things about this whole entire world. And that's what's always been difficult in the past is, it was hard to fail fast because you had to put time and effort into something. And, I've heard people like, just do bare bones, and bare bones is a lot of work. I wanted something where I'm like, I can spend 15, 20 minutes and not even worry about it. And if I fail, who cares? I'm on to the next thing, or I can tweak it. So again, everything that me and Ben, like our focus, our desires, our mission is all about simplicity and speed to market, speed to deliveries. Everything is all focused around that, and that you don't need a marketing degree to build any of this stuff or have to be fully technical. Everything is designed so that you have to do zero coding, zero anything, zero nothing. Everything's included without you having to go get SSL certificates, all these different types of things. We're trying to eliminate all those minor roadblocks that seem simple, but can turn into super complex. So that's our mission. That's our goal, is to save small businesses and make things smooth and efficient and very, very fast to market.
Love it. So thanks everybody for watching. Like I said, this week, we wanted to show you guys something that we've been building. This is the template for our book authors. We've got lots of other templates that are inside. We've got lots of surprises coming. But next steps, like I said, just go below this video and sign up for an account. You can get started right away. Or if you have questions and you want to know kind of how it might fit you, or you got a specific thing you want to bring up, book a demo with our team and we'll get you taken care of. So thanks again for watching. And like I said, we had fun. We hope you guys had fun. We'll see you next time.